315-592-9494. Let's talk to Zach in Jackson. What up, Zach?
Hello, you guys can hear me?
Yeah,
yes. What's up, Jackson?
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make this clear. Let's go!
Let's go! NLCS, baby!
Let's go!
Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, whatever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports, a sports pod with dad bods. This is JackKnife alongside Tommy Joe and the Zack Danielz. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, pretty good.
Fantastic.
Tommy Joe sitting right next to me at my lovely fiance's house, as Zack Danielz joins us via Discord. We've been gone for has it been a month? Or I don't know how long it's been. I mean, I know it's been a while.
Like it's been a while for me.
Yeah, for you it's been a while. That I can attest. I mean, yeah, we bought a house. We're knocking some shit down. We're painting. Spackling, all that stuff. It's a hassle. Buying a house, 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. I'm kidding.
My bum ass is making content here and there, doing the recaps every week. I like doing that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit tough though.
You kept it going for us, kept this train rolling. Well, yes, I helped only to talk about the Jets, but that's because, for once I'm actually positive about the Jets. I'm positive about 3 of my teams. For those watching on video, you could tell by my outfit. Yankees won today. I'm wearing my Jets t-shirt and my Rangers hat, and only one I'm missing is the Knicks, but that's because they disappoint me. I'm kidding. I probably couldn't fit anything.
Is hockey going on right now? It is?
Right. Yeah,
all 3 teams on you don't disappoint you.
Right.
I don't think I've known Jack most of my life. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
Right. I'm just as surprised as you are. The Rangers are cup contenders. The Yankees are going to the LCS, which we'll talk about later. And the Jets, I don't expect Super Bowl this year, but hey, they're turning in the right direction for once. They accidentally hired the right guy to run the team.
Hey, I think if they make the playoffs, even if it's a wild card,
great season.
It's a great season.
Hands down. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Zach, do you want to head into your recap of week 6?
I mean, I'm interested if you're interested.
We're always interested.
Well, of course we're always interested.
That's why we're here.
All right. Well, then, I'll take it from here. We're going to go right into the NFL, and we're going to do Zach's up-tempo recap like we've done the past 3 weeks, I guess. Is that what we're on? 3 or 4? I think this is the second live one, and I did 2 edits. So
that's correct.
Here's our second live one. Let's do this. All right, first, we have bye weeks this week, so this is going to be a little bit quicker. All right, we got the Lions, the Raiders, and Titans, and Texans are all sitting down this week. Fine by me. All 3 of those teams kind of rotten. The Thursday night game was Commanders 12, Bears 9. The Commanders won 12-9. For the love of God, please just abolish Thursday night football at this point. Another atrocious game. The Commanders escape with the win. Justin Fields kind of sucks. Just my opinion. Giants beat the Ravens 24-20. Holy shit! Another big win for them, taking the lead late and then stifling Lamar Jackson into turning the ball over. Okay. The Giants have my attention now. I will give it that. The Daboll is a great coach. This team is fired up. It's awesome. You know what? It's good to see the NFC East is back. The Colts beat the Jags 34-27. Repeating what I said last week, what the hell are the Colts, man? I really don't know, Tommy. Last week, Matt Ryan looked geriatric. This week, he looks like an MVP. Big division win for them. Jags are losing their composure, it seems. I don't know what's going on. Doug Peterson needs to fix it. Patriots beat the shit out of the Browns 38-15. Bailey Zappi is going to cause a quarterback controversy in New England. 300 yards and 2 tutties. Are you fucking kidding me? The Browns need Deshaun Watson like Deshaun Watson needs a massage. The Bengals beat the Saints 30-26. This is a good game. Jamar Chase finally went crazy for me in fantasy in one of my leagues, and so did Joe Burrow. He had a great game. Saints continue to be unimpressive. They're currently in quarterback purgatory between Dalton, Winston, and Hill. I'm not sold on Winston. I don't care if he's injured. I mean, that doesn't help him either, but I don't like any of those guys. Steelers and Bucks. Steelers beat the Bucks 20-18. Holy shit. Not only did the Steelers win, they did it with Kenny Pickett's contributions and then Mitch Trubisky coming in after Pickett went down with a concussion. The Bucks are just not as good as everyone thinks. I don't know what's going on there, but it's just not looking good. Falcons 28, 49ers 14. What a game by the Falcons, man. Just what a letdown by the Niners, too. I don't know how the Falcons pulled it off. I thought the Niners were better than that, but I guess the Falcons steal one. Jets, real quick. I know Jack's going to want to say something, but we're going to just rip right through these. Jets beat the crap out of the Packers, 27-10. I'm telling you, the Jets are looking good all around. Young team, crazy talent. I agree with Jack. Like, the two potential rookies of the year on both sides of the ball, Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall, are looking fantastic. And the Packers are also just looking sloppy right now. Don't know what's going on there. Vikings
Jets.
beat the Dolphins. What?
I said go Jets.
Oh, God. All right. I thought you were like, Jets. Vikings beat the Dolphins 24-16. Vikings are playing pretty well and leading their division. Hard to tell what the Dolphins have, considering they don't even have their starting quarterback who balled out the first month of the season. But Tua, I think, is coming back this week, so we'll see what they're going to do. Rams beat the Panthers 24-10. This is a little bit of a longer one. The Rams just don't look good at all. They don't look like the Super Bowl team. But at the same time, holy hell, the Panthers are a fucking dumpster fire. They fired Matt Rule after 2.5 seasons of mediocrity and downright miserable play. There's talks of like Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson did just get traded after he got kicked off the sideline by the interim coach less than 24 hours later. I mean, good God almighty, what is going on in Carolina? Just blow it up. Just blow it up. Oh, boy. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 19-9. Like I said about the AFC South last week, just feels like everyone in the NFC West is just going to beat the piss out of each other all year. Everyone there is 3-3 besides Arizona, and the Seahawks are actually kind of surprising that they're 3-3. Bills and Chiefs in the game of the week, everyone calls it, and it definitely was one of the most highly anticipated games of the year. Bills beat the Chiefs 24-20. It lived up to the expectation, but with slightly less fireworks and not as much like craziness at the end. Bills got a late touchdown and sealed it when Mahomes threw a pick. They may have claimed the crown to the AFC right now. They really do look like the Super Bowl front runner. We go to Sunday Night Football. My Eagles beat the Cowboys 26-17. Finally, the Cowboys have been their kryptonite. The Cowboys fans then took to Twitter and made up every excuse in the book about how the Eagles are frauds and they shoulda, coulda, woulda won the game, blah, 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 talking about losing with a backup. Bro, they just played him outright. And actually, I just watched some footage that basically they took Micah Parsons, they neutralized Micah Parsons the entire game by going at him. They basically just confused the shit out of him. They made him have to make decisions that he just couldn't make, and they just went around him. And he basically did nothing all night when Lane Johnson was in the game before he got a concussion. Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in 2.5 years or whatever the fuck it is. Eagles remain undefeated. They're fucking awesome. Fuck with me. And I don't even want to talk about last night because the Chargers beat the Broncos 19-16. Get the fucking Broncos off national television for the love of God. I'm so done. I'm so done with their snooze fest. Also, Justin Herbert threw a touchdown in 30 straight games up until Monday when DraftKings had a super boost on it. It went from -800 to +100. That means if you bet $10 from -800, you would have gotten $2 back. If you bet $10, you would have gotten $20. You would have doubled your money. And he doesn't throw a touchdown pass. I hate the Broncos on primetime. Get them on primetime. I'm so done with it. It's just not looked ugly. It's just looked ugly. All the teams that everyone thought was going to be good this year are not doing good this year. Just get the Broncos off primetime. So, yeah, there's your up-tempo recap. Let's talk about some teams. I know we got to talk about the Jets because you're here, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, in defense of you, Zach, in all the time you've known me, you're used to me hearing Jets. That's why you probably thought that's what I said before.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck was that, man? They're doing good.
Yeah.
I think I had coughed at the same time Jack said Jets.
I said go Jets. So go Jets.
I also have a little phlegm in my mouth. Maybe I have the vid.
Yeah, you really did shit on the Broncos there. It's rightfully deserved, though.
That's right.
Be careful, though. Spicy.
Don't even get me started on Russell Wilson. Bro, dude, and you know what's crazy? All the stuff that's coming out about him. Like Richard Sherman and
I saw
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman, like they have to
podcast.
go through. Yeah, listen. If FUNTS ever did get big, I would never make you two have to reach me through an agent. That's just over.
That's just ridiculous. It's just unbelievable because you wonder why that team was slowly falling apart. Like everything around him, and we all thought it's just Russell Wilson doing everything by himself. But I almost wonder if there was some turmoil behind the scenes that no one talked about.
I forgot. What's the name of their new coach's name? He got there because they tried to lure Aaron Rodgers. What's his name again?
The Broncos. Oh, we're talking about yeah, they literally only had Nathaniel Hackett because he was the quarterback's coach or something for the Packers.
He's got to go. He's awful. Awful.
He's just not good.
But yeah, let's talk about a good team. The New York Jets. Yes, I just said that. The New York Jets are a good football team. They're looking great right now. They're 4-2. And if the freaking Chiefs were able to beat the Bills on Sunday, the Jets would be first place right now in the AFC East. But that's not the case. Still, they have the third best record in the AFC. I've said before on the recap last week or 2 weeks ago that they might very well have Rookies of the Year on both sides of the ball. Breece Hall rushed for over 100 yards again against the Packers, scored a touchdown. Sauce Gardner, he didn't make any highlight reel plays, but still, he's still shutting down his opponents. And Quinnen Williams, 2 sacks and a blocked field goal. And what's PFF stand for again, Zach? I'm brain farting.
Pro Football Focus or pro fucked up facts.
Yeah, they gave him a 64.5 rating. I'm like, what more do you want him to do? He was a monster that game. Like, what the hell? Now, Zach Wilson didn't do much that game. I don't know if they necessarily had a leash on him, maybe, but that's okay. He didn't do anything more than what he needed to do. He managed the game. He didn't turn the ball over. And, yeah, he's been doing good. So far, so good. Would I like to see a little bit more development out of him? Sure, but yeah, at the same time, I understand. Don't push him. Don't make any stupid mistakes, which is what I don't want to see. Now, one thing I am going to nitpick a little, this is after the game, wide receiver Elijah Moore was being vocal about like him not getting any reps, like was barely targeted at all, if any. Now, Robert Saleh did stand up for him in the Michael Kay show yesterday, saying, he's a good kid. And I think that's the right thing to do. Stand up. You definitely don't throw your player under the bus. But I still don't think that's a good look. When the team wins, you all win. But again, that's probably just me nitpicking. The Jets play the Broncos this upcoming Sunday in Denver, and I'm expecting the Jets to win that. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm expecting the Jets to win their third game in a row on the road, be 4-0 on the road for the first time since I don't even know when. That might have been the 2010 season, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, things are looking up for the Jets.
Oh yeah, that would be their third in a row on the road, huh?
Yeah, they would be 4.
That would be big. That would be major, dude. I gotta say, I've watched them now 2 straight weeks because the Eagles have either been on 2 weeks ago. They were on at 4:30 with the Cardinals, and this week they were on Sunday Night Football. So, I'm sorry, I have a lot of phlegm.
Next week the Phillies are on a bye, right?
What?
The Phillies are on a bye next week.
Eagles are on the bye, yeah.
Yeah. I meant Philadelphia.
We'll talk about the Phillies later.
But so I watched them, and I mean, I told you I like the team, but like watching them now, I'm like, I see how all of it's coming together. Joe Douglas is building that team perfectly. You have 2 stud tight ends. You finally got like 2 good tight ends to throw to. Give Zach Wilson a little like cushion. Breece Hall's awesome. Michael Carter's awesome. 2 young running backs. Honestly, very, very, very short shelf life too. So you have 2 young guys that are like bruisers, and then you have Garrett Wilson, young stud. Elijah Moore, young stud. Corey Davis, veteran. Is there a 4th wide receiver on your? Oh, Braxton. I'm sorry, Braxton Berrios. I love. Dude is a special teams nightmare. The dude is
a Swiss Army knife, hands down. He can return punts, kick returns, and he's not a threat.
Reverses, and he's quick. He's fast.
Absolutely.
He's a special teams nightmare for other teams. It's awesome. Like the team and Quinnen, that defense is awesome. CJ Mosley is a veteran presence. Quincy and Quinnen Williams are hard hitting dudes. Quinnen Williams is a bull. I mean, like honestly, like the Packers have been playing sloppy. So like this isn't the Packers of recent years with like Devontae Adams on offense for some reason,
right.
And even the defense isn't looking amazing. But I mean, you guys handled them. You guys handled them very well. 10 points, 27-10, and you beat the crap out of the Dolphins. You beat the crap out of the Steelers. Well, you came back on the Steelers. It doesn't matter. You beat the crap out of them. You won. Like the Steelers had all that juice when Kenny Pickett came in, and it didn't affect them. And Zach Wilson marched them down the field, got a game when he touched them. Like the whole team is doing it. It's basically what I've been saying about the Phillies, which we'll get to. That whole team, like the whole Jets team, is working. Like you said, Zach Wilson's not doing amazing, but he's getting it done, right? And Breece Hall is a monster. It kind of helps when you have that guy. So, dude, the Jets are looking up. Like, their stock is up right now with me. Seriously. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think goal right now is make the postseason. I mean, I'm not expecting Super Bowl. I'm not going to get my hopes up that high, but still, it's been great so far. Tom, go on, Zach.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also, real quick, look at all 4 AFC divisions. If the Jets are in any of those other ones, they're probably first.
Yeah, absolutely. And go to the other team at MetLife. Both New York City, I know they play New Jersey, but both New York City teams are great right now. The Giants are 5-1. I don't necessarily think they have like the best talent, but I think Brian Daboll probably is going to get Coach of the Year.
Yes.
He
100%.
has that team fighting for them. Like Kayvon Thibodeau was crying at the end of the game just because like he put so much heart into it. Like the Giants are dogs. Like they're not going to win every game, but you know what? They're not going to win the NFC East, but they fight you tooth and nail to the very end.
Hey, you never know, man. I mean, like, they're playing that well. The Eagles, I've seen them be shaky. Like, they can be beat. Don't get me wrong. They were winning 20-0, and then it was 20-17 real quick all of a sudden, So, I know they're undefeated, and that's what I love. The Eagles seem to find ways to win, and that's all that matters. And guess who also might be a Coach of the Year candidate? Nick Sirianni. Dude is fucking awesome, and he has embraced the Philly culture. He's fired up all the time. He's the opposite of Doug Peterson. They're both players coaches, but like Nick Sirianni is like a fired up dude. It's just like on the sidelines screaming and yelling. And Doug Peterson was always like what's going on, guys? Let's win some football games. Some football games. Like, hey, I mean, whatever works. The talent's working. AJ Brown's a monster. Jalen Hurts is a monster. That Giants team, man, I'm telling you, I think the Eagles will beat them, but the way that they're playing is spirited, dude. Like,
I think I would have to take the Eagles in a matchup, but like I feel like at the end of the game, the Eagles would still be like, man, that was a tough matchup. Which usually,
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, NFC East matchups are usually tough. Like the NFC East is a great division, and then you got the Commanders.
Yeah, basically.
You want to bring with the beer?
Oh, okay. Tom's there.
Yep, he's here. He's Tom.
Okay, sorry. The screen's always messed up. Is Tom got anything to say? Because I wanted to ask him about the Colts.
So I'll be honest. I haven't been doing much with football as of right now because NASCAR is in the heat of the playoffs,
which we'll get to later.
Which has my full attention.
Makes sense
at the moment. But I really don't know what to say about the Colts. I was not impressed when it was announced that Matty Ice was taking his talents to Indianapolis. I was not impressed. I'm really hoping that the Colts can find a young QB talent to stand behind and grow and make into a franchise quarterback instead of trying to get teams sloppy seconds and thirds. But the Colts are a mess right now. Like, we win, and I'm not even happy about it. Like, that win against the Jaguars, like, it disgusting. They're just, and everyone's getting hurt. It's not a good year.
Not to mention your owner made a comment regarding Dan Snyder's comments about him having dirt on every owner. I don't remember what the quote was.
I didn't hear about this. What was this?
I don't know. I just heard about it today. I didn't actually read the whole thing.
Don't worry about it. Dan Snyder's basically a scumbag, and we all know it.
Well, he's the
Commanders.
Yeah. Yo, Tom, you know what I wanted to mention? I mean, the thing with the Colts is like, I agree with what you were saying at one point. I really don't know what to think of this team because of the injuries, because of Matty Ice. Like, I don't know what to think of what they are, but I gotta say, Alec Pierce isn't doing amazing. But I was questioning your pick in the NFL fantasy draft, and I would say you got him. You picked him a bit high because I don't think anyone would have known him, but. In real life, not fantasy, in real life, the kid's looking solid. I mean, next to Michael Pittman's looking like a stud at wide receiver. He's looking like a monster.
Jonathan Taylor's hurt. Like, he's your best player.
Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor wasn't having he had a good first week, and then I think like 3 or 4 meh weeks, and then he missed the past couple. So, I mean, the team is just weird right now. I don't know what to make of it. That whole AFC West is kind of like I said, it's just a bunch of people beating the piss out of each other just to get to the playoffs, just to get crushed by someone. Not like like whoever's going there, good luck to them. I mean, you're either going to face probably one of the other 3 division winners, and even I'd bet even the wild card. Let's say the Bills win the division and the Jets are the wild card. I'd take the Jets over any of the AFC South teams right now, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
I can't believe I'm hearing that come out of your mouth.
I mean,
dude, they're playing that well.
I know.
Who's good in the AFC? Who's good in who is good in the AFC South right now?
I say the Titans are disappointing.
You have the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars.
I feel the Titans probably have the most potential out of them, but even they've been disappointing.
We play them next week. I really have no idea what to expect. Like, I won't be surprised if they lose. I won't be surprised if they win. But if they win, I know it's going to be an ugly win, like last week.
Yeah,
it's sad.
It is what it is. But anyway, let's go on to baseball. The Phils are on right now. Zach, you want to head right into it?
Yeah, I'll do the Phils real quick because I'm probably going to turn around and just continue watching. Zach Wheeler just got out of the 2nd inning. Let's see here. What do we got? All right, Phils and Padres both in the NLCS after dropping 2 100-win division champions. I mean, the Braves and the Dodgers just weren't expecting it. And you know what I'm sick of? Before I get into the Phillies, people were saying online, of course, on the bird.com.
Can Elon Musk just delete that site off the internet?
Seriously,
I use it and I hate it.
So stupid.
I use that website and I hate it.
It's just the fact that I saw when the Phillies and Padres won, everyone's, especially after the Phillies won, this is how much everyone hates Philly. I'm almost guaranteed because I didn't see it I saw it before the Padres lost or Padres won. That people were like, "Oh, this playoff system is so messed up because it's so messed up because the Phillies played early and they got like hot. So when they came in to play the Braves, they were already heating up when the Braves hadn't played in a week. It's like you won 100 games.
Yeah, no one
shut the fuck up. No one's
stopping you from practicing. Just saying.
No one's win games. Just win the games. Like win the games. They won. The Braves beat the Phillies 11 times and lost only 8. So the Braves beat them more throughout this regular season. Like, win the games. Just win the games. Now, to be fair, let's get back to the Phillies. Nobody gave them a chance when they limped into the playoffs. They did clinch against the Astros. Aaron Nola in late September, apparently, or Aaron Nola all throughout September was pretty decent. But the last 3 weeks, the last week of the season when he clinched against the Astros, and then he shut them down in that Game 3 against the Braves. Oh my God! And the Cardinals. I'm sorry. I think he pitched against the Cardinals. Did he pitch against the Cardinals? I don't remember. The whole team right now. I can't remember because the whole team is just playing so good, so good. Like everyone, they're just a sleeping giant that is awake, and the only people who aren't hitting really is like Kyle Schwarber. I can't even say Rhys Hoskins was doing awful for a little while,
that clip was amazing.
And that home run that he hit, that he was struggling so hard, and then he hit that freaking home run to go up 4-0 in Game 3 against the Braves, and then ultimately they won that game 9-1. They took a 2-1 series lead, and that's when yours truly woke up the next morning and said, "I have to go to this game. They're going to clinch." That stadium looks absolutely insane. And I have a bold prediction. I don't think anyone's beating the Phillies if they go to Citizens Bank Park. I'm sorry. That's my bold prediction. It could happen. But holy shit, man, I can tell you from being in that stadium, no one was beating them. And by the way, the youngsters on the team, it's not just Bryce Harper. It's not just Rhys Hoskins. It's not just Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. There's Brandon Marsh, who they got from the Angels in a midseason trade. There's Bryson Stott, one of their homegrown draft picks. Alec Boehm, one of their homegrown draft picks. He had 4 errors in one game, in the first week of the season, and he's been so good defensively since then. He has his mistakes here and there, but he's looked so solid. He outplayed Nolan Arenado in a 3-game series, both hitting and in the field. It was insane. And this kid Matt Vierling also, he's a homegrown kid. He's like a backup utility player, but when he comes in, he gets the job done. Everyone's doing it on this team. Everyone, including the bullpen, which hasn't been there for years. Watch out. The Phillies are hot. Yeah, that's all I got to say. The Padres are hot too, which is why I'm a little worried about this series, but we'll see. It's a good series. I know the Padres hadn't won a World Series ever in their franchise history, so I don't blame people.
They haven't been there since '98 when they lost to the Yankees, that team that many people consider the greatest of all time. But yeah, there's a lot to be excited for the Phillies. I mean, I know you were when you called that radio show that we played at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I had to. I like the videos I shared with you guys just don't do justice. Like that place was freaking amazing. You know what? Rob Thompson used to be a bench manager for the Yankees throughout all those years in the late 90s and in even up to 09 when they won the World Series then against the Phillies. Rob Thompson in recent interviews is like, this place is on, like in both Game 3 and Game 4, he's like, that was the loudest stadium I've ever been in. That was the loudest stadium I've ever been in. Bryce Harper's like, I have goosebumps thinking about it. That place was that place is a madhouse. No one is going to win in that stadium. It's just not going to happen. It was rock. It was like, I know like New York fans are fantastic too. They go absolutely batshit crazy too. But to have Rob Thompson, who was there for all those World Series with them, come in and I don't think he was joking because he was like, that was the loudest I've ever heard.
I think he was only there for the 2009 World Series, if I'm not mistaken.
He was there throughout the early thousands and I think late 90s too, man.
Oh, really?
He was there for 09. He was there a long time. He's been around a long time. He's a baseball lifer. It's the reason a lot of us rooted for him when he got the job. I was like, oh, okay, so this guy's been around forever. And then the team started firing on all cylinders. Like once Girardi got canned, like give him he got his contract.
Yeah.
So
and he earned it. He's
awesome
no longer interim, and he showed that. And if I think he told me earlier today, the Flyers showed that clip of Riz Hopkins and the fans going apeshit behind him. Like, this is what it's like to win in this city. That reminds me of Mike Keenan, the head coach of the Rangers, the 1993-94 season. Before the season started, he showed them a clip of the New York Mets going down the Canyon of Heroes after they won the 1986 World Series. Well, the New York Rangers won the World Series. The New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup that year for the first time in 54 years, and the Flyers are off to a good start right now. So
there's a lot of fire going on, dude. Philly sports is in full swing right now. The Flyers are 2-0, by the way. I'll let you guys get to hockey, but I heard the Flyers are 2-0. I saw who they beat, and it's like, whoa. So, but how's the Yankees doing, and how's the ALCS looking?
Well, I'll get to my predictions on the LCS later.
If you don't mind, I am going to watch the game though.
Okay. First off, this is only going to take 10 seconds. I fucked up last episode. I didn't mention that Albert Pujols hit home run numbers 700. My fuck up there. Okay, moving past it. And Aaron Judge did hit number 62 since we last recorded.
Man, it's been a while.
Like I said, it's been a while.
Lot of home runs to go around. And Pujols, man, he was on fire before the playoffs. But all those home run balls are leaving the yard quicker than he left his wife with a brain tumor.
Oh, damn.
I had to do it. You know what left quicker than Albert Pujols leaving his wife with a brain tumor?
What's that?
The Cardinals from the playoffs.
Oh. They left quicker than the Mets. Oh,
they did.
I was told the Mets run New York. The Mets run New York, but no, freaking the Yankees are, when it comes to baseball, running New York right now because at the time of this recording, they have beat the Cleveland Guardians in 5 games.
Canceled.
I was listening to Game 5 in the car earlier today. John Sterling would not stop calling them Indians, and I chuckled every time. But, yeah, Garrett Cole stood the test in both games he started. Game 1, 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. Game 4, with their backs against the wall, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, again, 8 Ks. Today, Nasty Nestor, like the underdog that he is, starting an elimination game, and he absolutely dominates. 5 innings, 1 earned run that happened because of an outfield blunder because Oswaldo Cabrera and Aaron Hicks were both yelling, "I got it." Neither one of them got it, and they collided into each other. He had allowed 3 hits, only 2 strikeouts. I thought he could have gone a little longer, but he is coming off of a 3-day rest. Judge hit a home run today. It was big insurance. It was the second home run of the series, but he did strike out 11 times the series. So it has me like, don't want that. Like, this season, he's been hitting for power and average. Don't just try to kill the ball, Aaron. Just get on base when you can. Well, he did get a single late in the
He
game.
done messed up, A.A. Ron.
Jeez. Yeah, the Yankees this series only hit 182. Combined had a 182 batting average. Ew. But they out-homered the Guardians 9-3. Speaking of which, Harrison Bader has, I think, 2 home runs this series. He might have 2 or 3. I don't remember. One of those. He shut me and every other Yankee fan the fuck up complaining about that Jordan Montgomery trade. He did what he had to do. And like I said, they really put us through a freaking house of horrors this series because they choked away Game 3 up by 2 runs. Horrible management of the bullpen. Clay Holmes was not available. He puts in Aaron Boone puts in Clark Schmidt, who's been dog shit for the second half of the season. And his excuse was he didn't want to use Clay Holmes unless it was a emergency situation. Runners on first and third, 1 out in the 9th. When you have a chance to go up 2-1 in the series, it's not an emergency? Are you kidding me? And it took the Yankees to have their back up against the wall in 2 elimination games to finally admit that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is not good at shortstop after his horrendous defense in Game 3. And I gotta say, Garrett Cole, I'm sorry. I badmouthed you too much because you have been aimed since the Spider Tack, the same since the Spider Tack, but you shut me the hell up with these 2 performances. We paid him ace money. He pitched like an ace this series, and he was phenomenal. He was confident. It was great to see it. And because of that, I gotta say this. Josh Naylor can go fuck himself.
I was going to get to that, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's running
I wanted to get to this.
Yeah, he hit a home run. Tom, did you see this clip or no? Okay, yeah, you saw this clip. That's my son! That's my son! Dude, what? Apparently he does that with everyone, okay? But it's like, dude, you're losing this game. 1. 2, like, jeez. It's like, I want shit talk. I don't mind the shit talking, but like, dude, at least be funny. Or like,
No. Let me interject as a non-Yankees fan. I love that shit. That was awesome. But yes, he did it when they were down by 2. That's kind of stupid. Like, you're up by 2. I love it. Oh my God. I would have been like, let's fucking go. That's great. But also, you open yourself up to what happened tonight.
Yes. As soon as the final out was, by the way, I tried my best. I tried my best to avoid watching Game 4 and Game 5 because basically what I came to the conclusion that I'm a jinx. I can listen to a game, but when I watch things, that's when they start to fall apart. But anyway,
I kind of have to agree with that because I feel like if I put a race on especially the Xfinity Series, if I put on an Xfinity Series race halfway through, I'll put it on. Noah Graxton's leading. I'll put it on. He'll lose.
But yeah, before. The game ended today. Zach, did you see the end of the game today?
Oh yeah, no, that was.
Yeah, Gleyber Torres did the rock the baby to mock Josh Naylor. Every freaking Josh Naylor made the first out in the 9th, and like, not just then, he was getting it all game. Like, there's a clip I shared to my Instagram story. There's like these 3 kids behind the Cleveland dugout. They're all like staring him down, rocking the baby. I love it. Go fuck yourself. Jeez.
Dude, yeah, I love it. Like, and that's the kind of things, as long as like this doesn't keep going, like I think it just gets old, like let it finish out the series. You guys beat them in the playoffs. This better not come back next year. I mean, yeah, maybe it will come back next year.
I was scared
at the same time.
I was scared of bad karma because of like what happened earlier in the season with the Yankee fans throwing garbage on the field at the Guardians after that one walk-off. And like Miles Straw called us the worst fans in America. And, for those of you who don't know, Game 5 was rained out on Monday. And they played it, at the time of this recording, on Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Miles Straw is throwing a football with Yankee fans, like, during the rain delay. I'm like, part of me is, like, kind of cool, but this is for both sides. Like, dude, this guy freaking hates you. What are you doing? And that's probably just me being an asshole Yankee fan that I am. Like, at least I'm honest about it.
I mean, if you're throwing trash in the field...
Oh, I'm not defending it at all. I mean... I'm not defending it at all.
Valid. That's valid.
Look, all I gotta say is I can't stand the old people. Let's finish on this statement. I can't stand the old unwritten rules bullshit. Like, if you could give me all the unwritten rules, I'm sure some of them, like, okay, I get that, sort of, but like, they're called unwritten for a reason. Like they're not rules. They're just like, I don't know. It's like made up etiquette. You know, it's not really rules, but at the same time, like rules need to be broken. And I think the rule of like not showing emotion, like think of that for fucking years. That was always the case. No one showed emotion, but still people would get thrown at. Like someone would hit a big home run, they would maybe like trot around the bases or they bat flip, and then they get thrown at. Well,
I'm
now,
sorry,
you know
if it wasn't the regular season, I would have loved to see Naylor get freaking beamed.
Okay, so but the point is this though. I want that. I want the shit talk. If you're gonna bean someone anyway, you might as well really shit talk. Like you might as well do what Naylor was doing, running around the bases. That's fine by me. I love it. It means the next guy up better like brace for impact. You know, it's just and I'm not saying throwing at someone's a good idea. In fact, I think it's a stupid idea because
you're
you
putting
just put someone on base. But like, hey, you know what? Let's get fired up. You know, that's what I want baseball to be. It's gotten, you know, the Yankee way of baseball lately has just been home run or bust. So
yeah,
how about a little more interest? You know,
yeah, I do want to get into that. Like, the Yankees barely freaking escaped this series. Like, say what you will about Cleveland, they freaking fought us tooth and nail, and they hit for average. The Yankees, like you said, Yankees are home run and bust. They have this Neanderthal mentality. I don't know if that's actually the right word, because, like, now the analytics are just saying, hit more home runs, hit more home runs. Get on base. Advance runners. Like, the 98 Yankee team, like, they hit a lot of home runs, but they also got on base whenever they needed to. They knew how to advance runners and all that shit. Which is
the Phillies had that 6-run ninth inning in Game 1 against the Cardinals, all on hits, no home runs.
Yeah, I tweeted like the surprise Pikachu, Brian Cashman, watching the Guardians win by not hitting a single home run in the game. Yeah, like Tom's doing right now. But yeah, I guess that I should segue into my prediction for the ALCS. I'm sure as we speak right now, the Yankees are on a flight to Houston. They'll be facing the Houston Astros. I think they're going to this series. Positive stuff is gone. I think they're going to this series limping. Now they're facing Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez. Pitching, they have to face Verlander and company. And based on momentum, you're like, listen, I love the Yankees, but at the same time, I'm not going to be a complete homer. I got to be honest with you. I think it's going to go Astros in 6.
I know I'm not a. I try to support the Yankees for you guys and my friends who are Yankees fans because they are a lot more likable than in my recent in when I was growing up. But this Astros team, even after the cheating,
Yankee fans hated Alex Rodriguez too. But go on.
I lost my point. Thanks, Jack. I don't remember what I was saying.
You talked about the Astros cheating.
Yeah. Even after that, they're still an absolute machine. So yeah. I mean, there's nothing we can really do. You've gone past the cheating part. This Astros team still continues to win hundreds of games. So it's like
some people are saying like this basically is the World Series because like they don't expect much out of the teams in the LCS. I'm like, I wouldn't say that. If teams are hot, they're hot. Like I'm sure. Like let's say it is a Turnpike series, Yankees Phillies. I'm still going to be on. I'm not going to look at this and be like, oh, it's just the Phillies. I'm still going to be on the edge of my seat every pitch.
Absolutely.
Well, considering the fact that 2 of the last, 3 or 4 World Series champions are NL East wildcard teams?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
That's right.
You got to go by who's hot. So, just the point, you know, like
and the Padres and the Mets are just sitting there like
fucking Mets. Dude, their implosion was just, a month or 2 late. That's all.
It was.
I want to interject with one thing I wanted to say before, but I didn't want to cut you off, Zach. The whole thing with the playoffs, how the playoff system is flawed because the Phillies made their way in and yada yada yada. That made its way into NASCAR because if there's anything with NASCAR, people either love or hate the playoffs because it doesn't.
We'll talk about NASCAR in a little bit because there is one more baseball thing I want to say.
But I saw posts where like, oh, well, if you think the NASCAR playoffs are bad, how are the Phillies and the Padres in the playoffs?
They just win.
Exactly.
Just won. They were hot. They were heating up.
What was that?
They were heating up, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, though people were saying because it used to be a 1-game wild card.
I mean,
now it's
NASCAR's
3-game
yeah.
series.
I guess I'll give credit to Rob Manfred for this for once. I do like the best of 3 series as opposed to like a 1-game series and expansion. But that's just me.
I think it just makes more parity. You know, like who's expected the Phillies and Padres to make it?
Exactly.
No one.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No one. But that's what makes it great. You know, like if you know who's going to win, why watch?
Thank you. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, NASCAR's different in the sense that it's a sport where it's not like one mano y mano. It's like you versus like 39 other guys.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I still don't think there's a perfect point system for racing, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
it is what it is. But last baseball thing, Bob Costas, I hate you.
Retire.
Anytime I listen to this guy open his mouth, whenever he finished the sentence, I'm just like, I fucking hate you. Like,
He's basically dead and being held up by puppets. And
like I could hear the
puppet strings
disappointment
and
in his
makeup.
voice when Judge hit the home run. I turned on the game on. I turned on game 3. Judge was batting. The first thing I hear is him like simping for Shohei Ohtani, saying like, "Oh, he should be considered for MVP too." Like, he's not fucking playing right now. Judge is the MVP, and if he's not the MVP, it's freaking criminal. But yeah, I went on that rant. I think the last episode, but yeah. Quick basketball note: the season begins as we speak. The Knicks play the Grizzlies tomorrow night, and that's like the one team I'm not representing right now because I'm back in the New York groove.
Who cares about that? No, who cares about that? It doesn't matter. The Sixers and the Celtics are playing right now.
Back in the New York groove. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
The Sixers and Celtics are playing right now, and the Lakers and Warriors start at 10 o'clock. This is also, by the way, we're recording on Tuesday. So
Yes.
yeah, this is the official start of the season. It's a very good couple games. I mean, I believe the Warriors are going to beat the piss out of the Lakers, and the Sixers and Celtics are a one point game right now. So good start to the season there. But I want to get to NASCAR. Let's give Tommy Joe the
Floor's all yours, Tommy.
All right.
floor is yours.
So we're fresh off a great playoff race at Las Vegas where nothing eventful happened, right?
Nothing eventful
happened at Las
Nothing
Vegas.
at all.
I didn't even watch, so I can't even say.
So, I mean, Joey Logano won. He's locked into Phoenix. Oh, wait. There was one thing. Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson made contact coming out of turn 4, going into the straightaway.
Standard contacts.
Standard contact. I mean, Kyle Larson did run Bubba up the track. I will give him that. And then, according to Bubba, his steering wheel broke, which made him turn left at 160 miles an hour into Kyle Larson, which then made him spin out, which I'll probably show the clip somewhere in here, if I can.
I will. I'm going to be the one editing this tonight. Don't worry. I'll show it.
But as you can see, Bubba Wallace ended up taking out himself, Kyle Larson, and his Toyota teammate, Chris Bell, who was in the playoffs.
He Danica Patricked.
He did. The first rule of stock car racing is to learn how to wreck someone without wrecking yourself, and he just completely obliterated that. And not only did he wreck Kyle Larson and do that, which was a stupid move, and wreck himself, he gets out of the car, walks over to Kyle Larson, and starts to fight him. It wasn't really a fight. It was a shoving match. But, I mean, if Kyle Larson decided to fight back, that would have been a full-blown brawl in the middle of the front stretch.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Nope.
You can't have that in racing. I mean, you have the guys complaining about the safety of these cars, and that they're afraid to wreck, they're afraid to race because they could be one wreck away from ending their career. Because as I'll get to later, Kurt Busch has now retired from racing.
Full time.
From full-time racing,
yeah.
He's retired. But you can't be complaining that the car's not safe and then do something stupid like that, because that just makes you look like a huge hypocrite.
Right.
And
yeah, Bubba's gotten some unfair hate, like after like the
absolutely. So, and that's the other thing that I want to touch on. Bubba Wallace absolutely gets a lot of undeserved hate just because some of the fan base in NASCAR,
very right wing,
doesn't like him because of the news, because of whatever. We're not going to touch on that because
we tried our best not to talk about politics. Yeah,
but what
It's more like it's just old news too. It's not really worth it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
But what he did almost validated everyone that hates him in that way. Oh, look what he did, you know? And then
this is like when he raced that ARCA race at Bowman Gray. Like Slapshoes even said he does his damnedest to end up spend the night in jail.
Yeah, like I don't agree with what he did, and I don't think there's anyone that can agree with what he did. I mean, Kyle Larson was, even though I'm wearing his shirt and his hat, Kyle Larson was in the wrong. He did run him up the wall, but what Bubba did after that was way worse. It didn't matter what Larson did at that point.
Yeah, you showed me a clip from the Xfinity race. A similar thing happened. The guy, whoever that was,
yes, exactly. So Josh Berry was making a pass on AJ Allmendinger, which, if we can, we'll show it right here.
Yeah, send this to me after.
You could see the two clips are almost identical, where Josh Berry tries to pass AJ Allmendinger on the outside. It gets put in the wall.
Right.
And he continues making the pass. And you know what Josh Berry did?
He won the race.
He won the race. Now, that's the other thing. Bell lost his car, was not totaled. After that, at worst, he broke a toe link, which could have been replaced on pit road. He won the first stage. He finished first in the first stage. He could have had a car to win, but no, he decided to take himself out, Kyle Larson, and his teammate. And now, a couple of minutes before this episode started, it was news broke that Bubba Wallace has been suspended for one race at Homestead, and John Hunter Nemechek will drive the car. There's no points and no monetary fine.
Yeah, and Bubba was racing for the Owners' Championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was, for the 45 car for Kurt Busch. And I was kind of hoping NASCAR would do this. I think a one-race suspension is what he needs, because there's no amount of money and no amount of points that's going to really oh, wow, you did this wrong. He's not in the playoffs. Points don't matter to him, really.
Right.
And if there's money, I really don't think drivers pay those fines. I think it's the team owners pay those fines,
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the penalty goes, I think him watching someone else drive his car is a big enough penalty to him.
Yeah.
Because drivers, they just want to race,
Yeah.
You don't want to see somebody else in your car. No. You don't. And I guess that's that for Bubba. And then I guess we could segue into the whole safety.
Yeah, we talked about Kurt Busch what led to his retirement.
Well, yes. So these next-gen cars, as early as midway of last year, drivers were raising concerns of the safety of the car. And NASCAR is like, no, the data says the cars are safe. And apparently that's not the case, because you have Kurt Busch, who's out with a concussion.
Yeah.
Alex Bowman, who's out with a concussion. And these two hits were not crazy violent hits. They literally backed into the wall at low speed and got concussions because the rear of the car does not.
It's kind of like a NASCAR equivalent of maybe the Tua hit, the Kenny Pickett hit, where your back is just whiplashing against the back of the seat. That's like when my dad taught me to drive. If you know you're about to get rear-ended, just place your head
back
firmly on the back of your seat,
because then your head doesn't have room to travel.
Right.
And what happens at the rear of the car is they don't crush, they don't absorb the impact. So the driver is feeling the impact, which is giving them these concussions. And Alex Bowman is still out till at least Martinsville. He may come back for Phoenix. It's not ruled out yet. Right. But Kurt Busch has now retired. He said that he's retiring from full-time racing, which kind of works out because now you get Tyler Reddick, who can finally leave RCR.
You think Kurt Busch is a Hall of Famer? He was my favorite driver growing up.
Kurt Busch is definitely going to the Hall of Fame.
Good.
People
will probably say his brother's better, but Kurt is still good. It's like
Kyle Busch is definitely better than Kurt Busch, but they're both Hall of Fame drivers.
It's like hockey. Maurice Richard and his brother. I'm brain farting on his name. Let me Google that.
Kyle Busch is definitely going to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer. Kurt Busch,
hold that down. I'm going to bring it up. I just got to bring up the name.
Okay. But 2 weeks ago, I wanted to make a big rant about how the safety of these cars aren't there, and how hypocritical NASCAR is for saying that you need to race these cars the way that we say you have to make them, but they aren't safe.
It was Henri Richard. Yeah, Henri Richard won more championships, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rocket Richard was the better
Kyle
player.
Are definitely Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Kyle's definitely better than Kurt. I don't think anyone can argue that.
Right. But Kurt does have one thing Kyle Busch doesn't have: Daytona 500.
He does. And I think that's kind of what led to Kurt retiring, because
he's accomplished everything.
He's done everything. He's won the 500. He's won a championship. And
So yeah, I got to find a new favorite driver now because Kurt Busch became my favorite driver after you took over for Rusty Wall. So Kurt Busch, congrats on a great career.
When he was younger, he was hated a lot like his.
He's a
brother
reverse
Kyle.
evolution of his brother. Kind of. I don't know.
I see Kyle going on that same route,
Okay.
but he was hated. Everywhere he went, he was hated. Fans hated him.
Jimmy Spencer.
He got fired from Penske. He got fired from Roush. And after he got fired from Penske, he really kind of turned a.
I think he just left Roush, but yeah, go on.
He kind of really
Fell off the wagon.
he fell off the wagon. He got in trouble for assaulting a pit reporter, Dr. Jerry Punch,
Right.
ironically. But after that, he really kind of changed himself, and he really became a fan favorite. He would go to these teams, these small teams.
He ended up going
and
on.
He would leave these teams better than he found them.
Yeah, and he ended up going to Stewart Haas Racing, ironically enough, a rival of his, Tony Stewart.
Yes, and winning the 500.
Yeah.
And now with him retiring, you have Tyler Reddick leaving RCR and going into the 45 next season, which I think is going to be a good move because it'd be very awkward to see either RCR run through teams or you see Richard Childress just buy a car to put Tyler in, which would just be a lame duck. Like, he's not going to do anything, you know?
Right.
It'd be a waste of talent. Let's see, where are we at? You have Kyle Busch to the 8.
Yeah, speaking of Busch,
Kyle Busch to the 8 really surprised me.
how come?
I don't think RCR is that great.
Fair enough.
I mean, Dale Earnhardt won 6 championships with Richard Childress, but I don't.
That's Dale.
It's Dale. I think Dale won the championships, and they had the funding back then. They don't have the funding now. Look at Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick. I forgot how many years Kevin Harvick was with. I guess from 2001 to 2013.
Yeah,
and then his
he
first season with Stewart Haas, he wins a championship. Yeah. His first championship, and maybe, I mean, there's definitely been a turn in RCR because, I mean, Tyler Reddick has 3 wins this year.
Well, maybe Kyle Busch could be the one that gets him back on track.
Kyle Busch could probably do that. He might be able to make RCR a championship winning team again.
Yeah. Now, what's going to happen with Kyle Busch Motorsports? That's the question.
So with Kyle Busch Motorsports, you know, you have drivers and KBM that are Toyota funded drivers.
Yeah.
If KBM switches to Chevy, which is RCR, I don't think you're going to see those drivers stay. Those drivers are probably going to go like to DGR Crosley or Thor Motorsport, which are Toyota funded teams. Just going to be interesting to see what happens with KBM in this following year. Also, forgot to mention, so 2024 is going to be a new TV contract with NASCAR.
Ooh.
So we might see a new channel. I know that there is a streaming service who's kind of in that mix.
Okay.
But the big point that I want to bring up to that is that with Michael Jordan coming into the sport, he kind of brings his knowledge of business, you know?
Yeah.
And apparently what's been said with this current contract is that 93% of the value of the sport is in NASCAR. The other 7% is the 16 teams. That's a big fall off. And these teams have to rely on funding through sponsorship. And with this new contract, they want a bigger piece of the pie from this TV contract.
Right.
Which also brings me up to another point. I don't know about football or baseball, and Zach, feel free to interject whenever you want. But you know how they do the Bristol Dirt Race?
Yes.
You know whose call that was?
Yeah. What?
You know whose call that was to do the Bristol Dirt Race?
Whose?
Fox.
Really?
Yeah, not NASCAR.
That's Fox's idea.
Which the whole playoffs and the championship areas of Phoenix, you know who makes that call?
The TV.
NBC.
NBC, okay.
I don't like that.
Really?
I don't like the networks having that much control of my own sport. Not my own sport, but the sport that I watch. I don't like that.
That is strange.
You know? Because, like, this whole Chicago race, the Chicago streetcar race, I'm sure that's something that NBC was pushing to have happen, you know? Yeah. That kind of just doesn't sit with me. I mean, I like what they're doing, but I don't like the fact that NASCAR doesn't have the control to say no.
Right. Because
you have these TV companies throwing money at NASCAR. And then you have these same companies putting these races on bullshit fucking FS1 and USA. They need to be on cable network. They need to be where they can be seen. And they also
are you sure about that? Cable's kind of dying. Like, we're like my fiance and I are getting a new house. We're not
so like for me, I stream every race.
Okay.
But the boomer fan base isn't going to know how to stream races.
That's true.
They're only going to watch races that are on the main networks, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that's going to you're going to have to find a common ground where you can stream a race. Maybe they come up with their own streaming service, which I would be down to pay for to watch races wherever, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. But you also still need to have it on cable.
Yeah.
Because, like, to Amazon, how many people do you think aren't watching Thursday Night Football because they don't have Amazon Prime?
I'd say it's a sizable amount, like particularly the boomers.
Or they don't know how to watch
particularly the boomers.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people love to
like I don't even
boomers,
watch,
but they do.
I don't watch Yankee games that are on Peacock or Apple TV. Because it's like okay, how many streaming services do we need to have?
Exactly.
But yeah, go on.
And NASCAR has also announced that next year it plans to implement a wet weather package at select short tracks next year.
Ooh.
The package is going to be very similar to what they run at road courses.
Yes.
It's gonna be predominantly the flat short tracks.
So like Martinsville.
Yeah. They won't be
Not
racing in like a downpour because you can't race in downpour. But this could speed up the drying time because like the last 45 to 30 minutes of drying the track could be cut with having the cars in the track. Because driving over the track is going to dry the track.
Right.
And then the racing will continue on faster.
Okay.
Personally, I think this is going to be more fuel for people to bash NASCAR because it's going to be a botched call. It's going to be a botched officiating call and just kind of blow in their face.
Right.
And then I haven't been talked on here, but we have the FUNTS Fantasy NASCAR League.
Yeah, the one that I'm screwed in because I basically screwed myself in.
Yeah, Jack only has 2 picks left with 3 races left.
Oh, shit.
Somehow.
At least I'm going to finish ahead of Alex. And he's been...
Yes. Somehow, the 2 guys who live and breathe NASCAR are doing the worst. And 2 people who hardly watch NASCAR, Zach
My lovely
and Bree.
fiance is killing it.
Yes, Bree is killing the league, and I'm really surprised. Because
I'm proud of her.
Statistically pick these drivers, and I get absolutely raw dogged every week. I mean, I got the win. I got the first win this year, but I'm struggling bad. But then again, in our fantasy football league, I'm 5-1.
Yeah, speaking of fantasy football league, I'm no longer in line to eat the shit sandwich.
Yeah, and this week
I might eat a shit sandwich at this point.
Bree's behind you. She might have to eat the Taco Bell instead.
This week,
Well, that's not a fucking punishment. All right.
It's not. And this week, I checked my team, and like half my team's on a bye week, so there goes my streak.
All right, but anyway, let's talk about like the playoffs right now or in Homestead. You know.
Yeah. So you got the playoff. We're in the round of 8. You got Joey Logano, who's locked his ticket to. I keep wanting to say Homestead. Locked his ticket to.
I'm not used to it.
Yeah, to Phoenix, and you got Ross Chastain, who's up there. You got here. Let me pull
That's
up.
a surprise.
So you know what's really surprising me? The fact that William Byron is in and Larson's out. That surprised me. Sorry. Let me get the standings up here.
For once, it's Tom Bilburring it, not me.
Yes. So you got Joey Logano, who leads because he's locked in. You got Ross Chastain in second, Chase Elliott in third,
Denny
Hamlin in fourth. And then below the cutoff line, you have William Byron, who's 6 points below the cutoff line. Sorry, 15 points below the cutoff line. Chase Briscoe. Wait, that doesn't make sense. There we go. Okay, so we got William Byron, 6 points below the cutoff line. Chase Briscoe, 9 points below. Blaney, 11 points below. And Christopher Bell, thanks to Bubba Wallace, who is now 23 points below the cutoff the cutoff line. Chris Bell is going to have to win either Homestead or Martinsville to advance. I don't think he can point his way into the Final Four. But I will say he might have a shot at Homestead.
Okay.
Because Homestead is a track that he's good at.
But he needs to win. Basically.
He needs to win. He
can't do anything else. He needs to win.
I don't think he can point his way
unless he gets help.
Yes. I can see William Byron maybe sneaking past. Denny Hamlin has yet to choke.
Yet to
choke. He has been in the Cup Series since 2006, and he's still without a championship. Chase Elliott, I'm kind of worried about. I mean, he's plus 16 over the cut line. He struggled at Las Vegas. He was mid-pack the whole race, which kind of alarmed me. But Ross Chastain, I feel pretty good about him. And I would say my predictions for the Final Four would be Joey Logano, Ross Chastain,
Chase Elliott, maybe?
Chase Elliott, and I think Briscoe could end up in there.
Really?
Because he's on somewhat of a hot streak right now.
Okay.
we'll be having the first playoff race at Homestead, because last year they raced in the middle of the season. And Homestead used to be, when Homestead was made, it was the original.
I think that's the only track Jeff Gordon ever won at in his career.
It was the last race of the year. And now it's kind of getting shuffled around and they go to Phoenix. But I would be upset if Homestead got the championship race back again. Because I think it's a good track for that, you know?
Okay.
It's in Florida. It's good weather.
Season starts in Florida, ends in Florida.
Yeah. And then with the whole playoffs, I don't know how I feel about the playoffs anymore.
I mean, I kind of agree with the slap shoes take that, you know, this is not a sport where you can necessarily
because when
have
there's this
playoffs.
much parity, it's chaos.
Right.
I mean, there's 19 different winners this year?
Yeah.
It's too much parity, you know?
It is.
But that's all I got to say about NASCAR for right now. Until I get pissed off next week. But, you know, that's
Next
that's
week,
till then.
no, I think we're going to stick to the bi-weekly thing, at least. But, you know, who knows? We could record next week. I don't know. But yeah,
I'd love to keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean, as long as I have time, I'm down to be doing this weekly.
All right. All right, Tom talked NASCAR. Right, we talked basketball, baseball, football. Time to head to ice. Talk about hockey. But first, Zach, do you see this name right here in our Google Doc?
Oh, we check.
Yes,
Where is it? Under
hockey.
Okay.
Zach and Tom pronounce his name. Holy fucking hell!
Can I go first? I'll go first.
Wi-Fi. That's great.
Arbor Zakaj.
Okay, Zach, your turn.
All right, it's got to be Arbor.
Come on.
I gotta say something different. It's Shekash.
Arbor Shakai.
Oh, we're both wrong.
And yeah, the Wi-Fi
okay.
comment. The team nicknamed him Wi-Fi because his last name looks like a Wi-Fi password. That's how weird it is.
We're like, wait, what is that? Where's he from?
He's from Canada. Let me double check what province.
Fucking province of Canada is just a bunch of consonants.
Actually, let me see. Is a Canadian professional ice hockey? Yeah, he's from Hamilton, Ontario.
That's fucking wild. The starting with an X had to be like the parents are just like, I was waiting for you to say Johnson or something.
He's the
honestly.
He's the first player ever in NHL history, I think, to have his last name begin with an X.
Not surprised. Not even a Xavier, really?
I mean, yeah. But yeah. And another mistake I want to correct myself from the last time we recorded. I thought the season started on October 11th with the Rangers Lightning. By the way, they had some stupid, gimmicky, opening to the games at both the Garden and the Kings and Knights. That the ref, because the games were on ESPN, the refs were put the mics on. It was like, what better place than this or something, whatever. Talking to the camera. It was like, dude, just drop the fucking puck.
Dude, that was so weird. I saw that Big Cat on at Barstool shared that and was like, what the hell is this? I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but to correct my mistake, the season didn't begin that day. They had the European or Global Series, whatever the hell it's called, on the start. The season officially began on the 7th, even though there were preseason games going on, because in the Czech Republic, the San Jose Sharks and Nashville Predators played 2 regular season games. You didn't know about that? Well, guess what? Neither did I, because the NHL does a horrible job of marketing itself. So I'm partially absolving myself of some of the blame there. So, and before I get into, it's early in the season. There's not much going on, but there's 2 storylines I'll touch up on real quick. One's disturbing, one's sad. Last week, it was a random account on Twitter gave a very detailed account of 2-time Stanley Cup champion and current Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman Ian Cole, accusing him of grooming her when she was in high school. Now, let me make this perfectly clear, just because, so no one can put words in my mouth. If he did this, not only should he never play hockey again go to jail. Like, that's creepy. Like, dude, what are you doing? That being said, the NHL was not complacent in this. The NHL, like, saw the tweet, because they were tagged in it, and, like, they said to the person, please DM us. They reached out to the accuser. And the alleged victim wouldn't talk to the NHL, so Cole was placed on a paid leave, and now he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be back playing again for the Lightning because there was no evidence to substantiate those claims. Now, Cole denied the allegations, like he dug his heels in. So this is unfortunately he said, she said situation. So that is what that is. If you guys want to comment on that, I mean,
just sounds like a nothing burger if there's no evidence. I mean, if I don't know. I mean where else do you go with that?
Listen, I'm not trying to victim blame or anything before anyone puts words in my mouth, but if you got to come up with that in, like, if it truly happened and they want to investigate, you need to be brave and be like, yeah, this is what happened.
Well, like look, I'm not saying that, there's something inherently wrong with people just going straight.
I'm not even saying he definitely didn't do it. I'm just like, we can't put him away, punish him.
I'm saying, I wanted to say is, I'm not saying people shouldn't go to social media, but like if you're gonna go to social media, then you might as well just go the full,
go
9 yards, the whole 9 yards, and just go all the way. Go to the police. The league reaches out to you. Talk to the league. Who is this person making these claims? And then they're just not answering. Like, I don't know what you want from them. Like,
I really
do they really need to spend resources to like track this person down to find out what they did?
Can a court subpoena the person? Like, that's the thing.
What's the precedent that you said here?
What?
Think about it. You said he was on paid leave, right?
Right.
What happens if you're a big playoff game?
Yeah.
And you make a false accusation against someone on.
And again, we're not saying it is false.
No. We're not saying it is. But what happens if you were to make a false allegation?
Exactly. That could have playoff implications.
Accusation.
Yeah, that could have playoff implications. Don't even get me started on Duke lacrosse. But yeah, I'd be freaking angry if this was just some like troll who was like, I'm gonna see how far this goes. Oh shit, this actually made it that far. I'm not saying it is, but like if the victim, who else is a victim of a false accusation? True victims, because they get associated with that. Like in the Duke lacrosse 30 for 30, Fantastic Lies. It's a great documentary. I suggest you watch it. Like one of the Duke lacrosse players said, like the worst part about false rape accusations is that it hurts people who truly were raped. And not that I expect to get monetized on YouTube anyway, but because I said the R word, we're definitely not getting monetized. So, in terms of service stuff. But yeah, some sad news. Like, I remember talking about Borea Salming, a Hall of Fame defenseman. And last time I talked about him, he was diagnosed with ALS. There's an update. He's at the point now where he can't speak. He released a video earlier today, like, he spoke through a computer. He gave a thumbs up.
Who's this?
Borea Salming. He played, I want to say the 70s.
Oh.
Let me just double check so I'm not an asshole. But yeah, Borea Salming was a great defenseman. He really was. Some of my older friends who are hockey fans absolutely loved watching him play. He kind of revolutionized the game for Swedish-born hockey players. And come on, computer, stop acting stupid. Let me see.
It is Adele.
You and your freaking Apple. Yeah, he played
Apple.
You said it is Adele.
Yeah, it's Adele.
Don't you have a Mac or whatever?
No.
I'm retarded. I haven't noticed your computer.
I have an Asus.
All right. Yeah, he played from 1973 to 1990. Majority of his career with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But yeah, it's just sad to see. I mean, well, hopefully I don't know any progress on a cure for ALS, but that's just still sad to see. But I do get away from that, get on to more positive news. I talked about the team on my shirt. I talked about the team whose jersey I'm wearing. Now I'm going to talk about the team on my hat, my favorite team, the New York Rangers. 4 games of the season are 3-1-0 to start. They got a little revenge on the Tampa Bay Lightning the first game with a 3-1 win. They took the Wild to town in Minnesota, 7-3 win. The next night they lost 4-1 against the Jets. The score kind of like makes it look more one-sided than it actually was. They got a little goal lead by Connor Hellebuck. It's like, all right, that's gonna happen. Connor Hellebuck's a great goalie. He's considered one of the great goalies in the league. And last night they beat the Ducks pretty good, 6-4. But this is a scenario where it's like, okay, the game was not as close as the score makes it out to be. I'll touch up on that in a little bit. Right now, after last night, Artemi Panarin leads the league in points with 10 points so far. Mika Zibanejad leads the league in goals with 4. Kaapo Kakko's got a couple goals on the season. He's starting to blossom, be the not quite the player we expected him to be, but he's starting to get there. The goal he had against the Minnesota Wild was beautiful, just using his strength, using his body, just driving to the net. It was beautiful. And Alexis Lafreniere, if I'm not mistaken, had his first goal of the season last night. And the power play is still a juggernaut, which really should come as no surprise. Now, I like what I see so far, but it's not perfect. Vincent Trocheck, the new center we got, one of the guys I did want to get to replace Ryan Strome, he has a couple goals and some points on the season, but he and Artemi Panarin, the bread man, are still trying to fully mesh together. You know, they haven't had that much time together. But the big thing to me right now is that they get a little too comfortable with big leads. We saw that in the win against Minnesota, and we saw that in the win last night against the Anaheim Ducks. Now, I think it should go without saying, don't ever let a team back into it. Don't get too complacent. But it's early in the season. They got time to figure that out. Like, even Coach Gerard Gallant said in the press conference, like, we can't allow this. They're aware of it. Still, they got some time. They got some time to mesh together, you know, fully figure out. They're still finding themselves with, you know, Trocheck and couple other additions. Their third line is just a bunch of kids with Zach Jones, Braden Schneider, and occasionally Lieber Hayek thrown in there. Ugh, don't even get me started. But they're showing that they still deserve to be a cup contender, and I think I would be disappointed if it's not another Eastern Conference Finals appearance. I don't know if they necessarily get to the cup this year, but still trending in the right direction. Touch up on the defense when you're ahead by a lot, and, you know, keep doing what they're doing. But, yeah, I think we touched up on everything we want to tonight, guys. Tom, you want to say anything, or?
Race Hill, Raysdale, you know?
Well, what else is new? Zach?
Go Phils. Go Eagles.
What's the score?
Go Sixers.
What's the score right now?
Well, if you watch this back, I did fist pump my way through a Harper home run. So it's 1-0, a solo shot opposite field for Harper. 1-0 though, and yeah, let's just hope they win game 1. If they steal one in San Diego, I think they're winning this series.
Yeah, we brought this up in our group chat. What if it is another Turnpike series? Do we have to go to a couple games? It's like, I mean,
no.
so much money. I mean, oh god.
Because here's the other reason why. Because you're a Yankees fan, you wouldn't want to come to Philly, would you?
Here's the thing. I told myself years ago I'd never go to a Philadelphia. I'd never go to like a New York Philadelphia game. Like if I were to go to a Philadelphia game, I'd want to go to a game where I'm not emotionally invested in. But I feel like if I'm with you, I'm safe, and vice versa. If you're with me or Tom for that matter, you're good. Like
I got you.
Yeah. I think you're going to be safe no matter what. I think it's really overblown. I just think other fan bases are pussies compared to Philadelphia.
I think it goes for both of us. Like as long as we don't act like we own the place, it's all good. Like Bree and I went to a Rangers Bruins game in Boston in 2016, and like I didn't act like I owned the place. I made sure like we stayed careful. Don't get me wrong. We cheered for the Rangers because like the Rangers kicked the shit out of the Bruins that night.
I would absolutely talk shit at least a little bit. I wouldn't go in anyone's face I wouldn't make it like personal, but I would absolutely talk plenty of shit if I was in New York.
I mean, yeah.
I think it's more dangerous in New York than it is in Philadelphia. That's what I'm saying.
See,
I think in Philadelphia we'll just laugh you out.
I mean,
what, Tom?
I just feel because we're on the opposite sides of the fence, you know?
Right.
It's just.
I mean, whereas you go ask anyone else, they'll tell you like, "Oh, Philadelphia has a jail in their stadium." I don't know if that's the case anymore.
It's not, and that was
two decades ago or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, all right, that's over. But what was he gonna say?
But that's fucking awesome, though.
Why?
I just think that's cool. Like, sports fans are unruly.
I guess. I mean, what stadium definitely deserves to have a jail in it? Oakland. Well, when the Raiders were there, I don't know how they've been since Vegas.
Yeah, really.
But
The A's, you can go with them.
Yeah, but yeah.
Every stadium has a jail in it. All right, no one talks about it. They just talk about it for Philly.
I was in the nosebleeds for a Rangers Bruins game at TD Garden, November 5th, 2016. The Rangers kicked the shit out of the Bruins. And like some neckbeard masshole, because Massachusetts.
Massholes.
He's freaking not being malicious towards Bree, but he's sitting next to her, like saying Rangers suck, blah blah blah. Like, I probably should have said. Part of me wishes I switched seats with her. It's like, listen, buddy, shit talk me. Don't shit talk the girl. But when the Rangers scored late in the third period to make it 5-2, he left. So whatever, we got the last laugh. And the fans were pissed because the Ranger fans basically took over the building. I was talking to another Rangers fan. It's like, yeah, they're very lenient here, like security as opposed to like Madison Square Garden. One guy overheard us, like he didn't say directly to our face. He's like, hey, get out of here, like something along those lines.
And dude, the Eagles versus the Cardinals a couple weeks ago in Arizona, it was louder for when the Eagles were doing well. Like the opening kickoff, I think the Cardinals kick returner got like knocked down before the 20. There was a massive roar. Yeah. There was, I think, a sack. It was so loud. Like the Eagles fans travel. The Philly fans they're just savages.
Yeah, Philadelphia travels well.
And they're. I'm telling you, I think no one's beating Citizens Park. They have to win on the road.
Yeah, I feel like this also has to do with like I remember when the Steelers and Cardinals play each other in the Super Bowl. And I rooted for the Steelers because Pittsburgh, I shit on Pittsburgh a lot as far as a hockey city goes. I think they're frauds. But I say all the time, Pittsburgh's a real football city. I think Pittsburgh's in the top 5 of best football cities in America. Like, that's why I root for them. It's like, yeah, no matter what, they care about the Steelers. Cardinals fans, they come and go. Like,
I did want to say the Steelers are the biggest fan base in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, who likes Pirates outside of Pittsburgh?
And the Penguins, it's like, all right, the team sucks. All right, we're just going to wait till they get bankrupt again. The NHL sets them up with another generation.
I don't think I've seen a Pirates fan in New Jersey. You see Steeler fans.
Right, absolutely. And one last thing on Boston, like when I went to that game, that was my first time like hearing like an actual Boston accent. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And it's true. They freaking complained about every call that went against them. Like there was a freaking goal that went off a Ranger's leg. He was like, oh, that was a kicking motion. It was like, no, it wasn't. I was about to say, no, it wasn't. He didn't freaking make a kicking. It went off his leg, but he didn't make a kicking motion. We're about to end the episode. I have to go over that. That night was fun, but to go into it would take too much time. But yeah, Tom, thanks for coming by.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Zach, fantastic as always.
As always.
Yeah. I got.
All right, let's end this episode. Schwarbomb. Let's end it on a Schwarbomb.
Wait, Schwarber just hit a homer?
Oh yeah, just go watch the replay. Let's just end this episode, Jack. Let's end this episode. Let's end this episode.
All right, Zach. What does Jack usually say?
It's okay. I'm coming back.
Wait, Jack's coming back.
You have a good night.
All right. Yeah, I'm back. All right. If you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us on all our social medias at FUNTS Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and at Fat Unlike Nerds Talking Sports on Facebook. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. This is JackKnife alongside Tommy Joe and the Zack Danielz. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Bye.